The Musk-Trump nexus, a web of conflict, Starlink, and unanswered questions. The whispers of conflict of interest surrounding Elon Musk's burgeoning influence within the Trump administration have escalated into a full-blown roar. The recent revelation that Starlink, Musk's satellite internet service, is now operational at the White House has ignited a firestorm of controversy, casting a long shadow over the already ethically murky landscape of the Trump administration's cost-cutting initiatives, spearheaded by the billionaire himself. The installation, ostensibly aimed at improving Wi-Fi connectivity on the complex, as stated by Caroline Leavitt, Donald Trump's White House press secretary, rings hollow to many. The timing, coupled with Musk's increasingly prominent role in government affairs, fuels suspicion that this is far more than a simple technological upgrade. The nonchalant response from a Trump administration spokesperson, who claimed the White House was aware of Doge's intentions to improve internet access on the campus, and deemed it not a security incident or security breach, only exacerbates these concerns. The casual dismissal of such a significant development, involving a private company with close ties to the administration's leading figure, raises serious questions about transparency and accountability. The use of the term Doge, a seemingly informal and inappropriate reference to Musk's involvement, further underscores the lack of seriousness and professionalism surrounding this situation. The installation at the White House is not an isolated incident. Starlink's network has already been deployed at the General Services Administration, GSA, a key agency responsible for managing government-wide procurement and real estate. A Secret Service spokesperson attempted to allay concerns by stating that only apps that meet GSA's security and privacy standards are allowed. However, this statement fails to address the core issue: the inherent conflict of interest presented by a private company owned by a close associate of the administration, gaining privileged access to sensitive government infrastructure. The potential for misuse, data breaches, or undue influence remains a significant threat. Adding fuel to the fire, prominent Democrats, including the outspoken Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, have called for a full-scale investigation into potential criminal corruption. Their concerns are rooted in the Federal Aviation Administration's FAA controversial decision to cancel a substantial $2.4 billion contract with Verizon for air traffic control communications upgrades, opting instead to entrust this critical national infrastructure to Musk's Starlink. This seemingly inexplicable decision raises serious questions about the fairness and transparency of the bidding process, and the possibility of undue influence exerted by Musk and his close ties to the administration. The sheer scale of the financial implications, a shift of billions of dollars from a well-established industry leader to a relatively nascent space-based technology, demands rigorous scrutiny. The narrative extends beyond mere accusations. The timing of these developments is highly suspicious, occurring amidst a wider push by the Trump administration to implement sweeping cost-cutting measures across the federal government, a project overseen, in part, by Musk himself. This convergence of events creates a perfect storm of conflict of interest, raising legitimate questions about whether Musk is leveraging his proximity to power for personal financial gain. The potential for preferential treatment, the prioritization of Starlink over established industry players, and the lack of accountability all point towards a systemic problem requiring immediate and thorough investigation. The lack of transparency surrounding the decision-making processes involved further fuels public skepticism. The public deserves a detailed explanation of the rationale behind the FAA's decision, a transparent accounting of the bidding process, and clear assurances that national security concerns have been adequately addressed. The nonchalant attitude displayed by administration officials only serves to deepen public distrust and reinforce the perception of an administration operating in secrecy and prioritizing personal gain over national interests. The situation calls for more than mere rhetoric and official statements. A comprehensive, independent investigation, conducted by a body free from political influence, is urgently needed to examine the full extent of Musk's involvement in government affairs, the decision-making processes surrounding the Starlink contracts, and the potential for conflicts of interest that have been so blatantly exposed. The American public deserves nothing less than full transparency and accountability in matters of this magnitude. The implications for national security, economic fairness, and the integrity of government itself are too significant to ignore. Failure to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation will only serve to further erode public trust and embolden those who seek to exploit the vulnerabilities inherent in such a deeply entangled relationship between a powerful billionaire and the highest echelons of government. The silence surrounding this issue speaks volumes, and its reverberations will be felt for years to come. The future of government transparency and accountability rests upon the prompt and decisive action taken in response to this unfolding scandal.